Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Reading the Red this Thursday morning. Not so bright out today. Jesus, having finished talking about murder, moves into another topic in chapter 5 of Matthew, verse 27. He says these words to his disciples: "You have heard that it was said, you shall not commit adultery." Here we go again. Another instruction that he had chosen to talk about from the law, from the book of Exodus chapter 20, when God had given to Moses the law. Jesus now again is referring to this revelation that came from God. Moses received this incredible instruction for the people of Israel in order to keep them holy. And Jesus is reiterating to the disciples this morning this revelation as it relates to adultery. And he says to him, you, that means all you have heard, because you know the history of where this truth came from. You have heard. So they had heard, they knew the law. It was part of everything that they represented. It was the attempt that God had made to keep them close to himself. So Jesus says, you have heard that it was said. So there's the logos and the rama, the spoken word and the written word, the pen word and the revelation word. You have heard it was said, so God had said it, he said it to Moses, that you shall not commit adultery. And the revelation of committing a crime or committing or breaking a crime, breaking one of the rules, the laws that kept the people separated from the other nations. You mustn't commit. So you, like that man who used to stand in the post of the army once you have heard, because they had heard, that it had been said to Moses, you shall not commit, that's break the law, commit adultery. What is adultery? Adultery comes in so many different facets. God often relates to himself as being someone who had experienced adultery from his people, because his people had abandoned him and would often go to the other nations. There's that sense of abandonment, of not being part of a covenant that was made to one another. Adultery, the inability to stay faithful because you have broken the rule, broken the law. It's a difficult one, adultery. We're going to develop this as we go through this process. But the key behind breaking this trust bond that you make with someone else is the offence. The fact that you promised something, that you would be faithful, you would stay together as one, and then you abandoned it, you abused it. What do you do when you've come through an experience like that? Christians have, over the years, have had a lot to say about adultery. The Church of Jesus Christ has a lot to say about adultery in terms of isolating and ostracising people for those very acts. What do you do? Well, here we go. We're on a journey. I'll see you tomorrow.